the house, but she also got a she got a position at Southwest Airlines that, you know, kind of took her career elsewhere. And, you know, it was a lot of me and my siblings just at the crib by ourselves. And that's where a lot of me learning to cook came from.
Yeah, for sure.
It was, not to say that my parents didn't cook, but, you know, it was mostly us the majority of the time. We like to have people come over.
Yeah.
We like to have people come, you know, hang out. My dad being a pastor, we always did the Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
You know, the dinners, the Saturday evenings, Saturday night dinners, man. Like, it'd just be a bunch of people. They used to call our house the Kool-Aid house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
dope.
a bunch of motherfuckers over there.
Yeah.
So we would do that. And we, you know, I just, that's where I got the community aspect of it, you know. My dad did a lot of, we did a lot of community service out in Oakland where we would just go to the street, like literally go to the street. West Oakland, particularly San Pablo Avenue, we just go out there and go to the park, hand out water, hand out, you know, some pastries or something like that to the homeless people out there because, you know, he's like nobody else is touching them. So we got somebody got to start. And that's where I got my community driven aspect from, you know what I'm saying? Not just loving the town and loving the, you know, the party and the culture and shit like that, because this shit is great, you know what I mean? You kind of had to be there during the hyphy movement to understand it, but like now it's like what are we doing for our communities now? Like what's really what does our heart pour out to as we do this kind of stuff? So my father being a pastor, I got a big heart, you know what I mean? So we're always geared toward, you know, employing our people, you know, because that's kind of what the mindset is just making sure I see more black and brown faces working, because that elevates us as a people. It elevates the community because that's what we live around. Mm-hmm. That's what we be around. So that's really where it starts.
Fuck yeah.
For me, you know.
What were your interests early on in life?
I mean, dog, like, I kind of feel like I wanted to do anything else other than cooking. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I never saw it as an actual career, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think I just wanted to, you know, just help the community. But I mean, like, I wanted to be an astronaut, dog. You know, I wanted to, you know, make a difference. I think that's what I really wanted to do. I played basketball, I played football, I played baseball. You know, I went to school in Vallejo too. So, you know, I got a big group of friends. So I've always just been, you know, really down to just, you know, see my people come up around me, because I just hate seeing people struggle. It was the worst thing. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's kind of more so what I kind of felt like my career was leading to. But I was also in these streets, dog. Like, I was also, like, running up in people's houses. I was like, motherfuckers was getting, you know, more or less. I know allegedly. Nah, but, you know, I don't want to put my business out there, man. But, like, I wasn't the best. You got to know how to move and shake out here, regardless. You from out here, you got to know how to move around these streets, right? You know, so you can't be gang goofy. You can't be caught slipping. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really doing this shit, you really got to be doing it. And you only got a few options out here, dog. If you're not a sports, basketball, baseball, football superstar, or if you're not a techie, which, like, I don't know what percentage of black folk is actually in tech right now.
Yeah,
probably less than 10,
like 3%,
less than 5%. Some wild ass number that's just ridiculous. And like, there being so many black people out here, and then or you end up in jail, dog.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, I didn't really see cooking as being a route.
Gotcha.
Out of the windy road that the Bay Area or any hood will kind of put you through.
Yeah,
you know
for sure.
So,
for sure.
All right.
You know?
So when did you decide, or when did you find out?
I was around, I don't know, I was probably around 17, 18. I was living with my mom at that time. I just moved back from Maryland, actually. So I moved to Maryland, and I spent like maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years out there.
Gotcha.
Spent a lot of time in Bowie, PG County. My grandfather, I cooked crab with that man out there. That's I got a lot of family influence out there.
That's where I'm from.
Word up.
Yeah, and that's how me and him.
That's how you met him.
Yeah, well, in a sense, that's another reason why we.
It's just more common.
That's why you vibe.
Yeah,
right.
But I'd say I was, you know, a little less than 21. You know what I mean? I went to culinary school. I went to Le Cordon Bleu 2010, 2011. I didn't graduate. I just went.
Yeah.
Went to that thing. Sally Mae beat my ass for like $25,000.
Yeah, dude.
You know, I still owe them.
That's
you know what I mean?
Scam was still scamming.
Yep.
You know,
that's when the scam was still scamming, man.
Crazy. So I mean, I did that. you know, and I guess from there I learned that's the military structure that I needed from the kitchen, that brigade, that this is what we doing, this is what your job is, this is what your role is. Once you do your job and your role, then that's when you see your that's when you see your gratitude. That's when you see the rewards from your work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not until you do your job that you get your shit. And I was like, okay, it's fair for everybody in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't until later on in the industry where I actually started to see where the divide was when it came to like race, culture, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? But that just comes with whatever you do in life, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But you know, culinary school, and then once I got out of culinary school, I was hit the road running.
Got you.
Mostly in San Francisco.
What was the first restaurant you worked at?
First restaurant, I would say, really, it was Panera Bread. Really.
Hey, man. KFC, baby.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we all started.
Shout out to Panera Bread, man. I can't take that shit away from them.
But y'all got
oh, my God. So it was them first, but that first actual restaurant I worked at, so I was at the Supper Club in San Francisco.
Right.
And they had a few franchises. There was one in L.A., one in San Diego. And I don't think they had those anymore. And I was at Buca di Beppo, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where I was, pizza slanging. I started in the dish pit, just like anybody else, just like almost died in the dish pit.
Yeah.
It was so huge.
Yeah.
Like, this shit was fucking crazy.
You be wearing your Nikes like... Oh.
Dog, I'm trying to... Yes. But I had OGs in there that showed me how to wash dishes.
Yeah.
How to, clap your hands when it's too hot. You know what I mean? How to not stop moving, and I learned a little bit more there, and I loved it there. And they gave me an opportunity to cook pizza, and I was like, okay, let me try this. And then I burnt the shit out of my first like 2 or 3 pizzas, destroyed them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the crust is too thin. I'm throwing the paddle in. You know what I'm saying? No semolina. The shit's falling apart, dog. I'm just like, okay. So it's like step by step. The chef came over. I think his name was Alberto. He's a bigger Hispanic man, dog, and he just took me in. He had my back. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Showed me the way of how to actually put the pizza together. That's why it's too thin. You kneading it way too much. Don't you're messing with it too much. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
good old days.
Yeah, I learned a little bit there, and then after that, I was at the restaurants like Delfina. I was at Zuni Cafe for a little while. I was at Qua. I was at what's the other one Daniel Patterson had? I forget the name of it.
How did you work, or how did you choose the restaurants that you were moving to?
So I really, it was wherever my homies was going.
Yeah,
really.
That's where you were going.
So I ran into a group of cats from Florida. I believe these cats is from Florida. Shout out to Alex, Jordan, and Connor. All right, those are my 3 cats, man. Alex used to work at Altier Crane. Yeah, he was actually on the Netflix special.
Dope.
Yeah, he's on that motherfucker. But I met them, and Jordan was doing some crazy shit. I don't know what the hell he's doing now. Connor's out in Tennessee. I just linked up with him this past couple of months. I think it was October I linked up with him. Yeah. He showed me a couple bars out there, but they're just definitely these guys that are just really into the culture, and they love the culture, and they love cooking, and they're just like... I was working at, I went to go eat first. So let me back up a little bit. When I was at the Supper Club in San Francisco, I was working for this chef. He was a dick. He told me there was a bunch of shit I couldn't do, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I would go eat at other restaurants that are like more expensive, that I can kind of figure out if this is, can I do this? You know what I mean? Is this actually something that I see myself doing, or should I just go back and hit these streets? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I don't want to get chewed out by this motherfucker every day.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm not feeling that. So I start going to these restaurants, and I start meeting people and talking to these chefs, and, lo and behold, like, after working in the industry at months and months and months, I'll go back to the restaurant when it's time for me to leave. I'll leave, like, I left the Supper Club, and I went to Plum. And the executive chef at Plum, his name was Manfred Remble. Yeah. He was there. He saw me. He was like, you ate here a couple weeks ago. I'm like, yeah. He was like, you want a job? I was like, that's kind of why I came. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he hooked me up with a job, and that's where I met a bunch of like badasses, like David Barron, I guess he was there. I think Larkin, she's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know her last name, but these are just people I know that are still in the industry, still like teeth and nails, toughing through this shit. So that's where I met Jordan. And Jordan got me hip to Felix. His name isn't Alex, it's Felix. I'm sorry, Felix. His name is Felix. So Jordan got me hip to Felix and Connor.
Yeah.
Sorry, Felix.
Hopefully he played it all the way through.
Yeah,
It's not like, motherfucker don't know my name. Stop.
Stop and go back. Felix. My bad, big dog. No, yeah, that's where, and then once I started to realize that you can come up with a camaraderie, like a group of people who actually like give a fuck. They were spending the night at each other's houses.
Right.
You know, they live the industry, you know, and I got inspired by that. And, you know, it made me want to just dive more into it. So.
Got you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. And how long would you say that whole time ran?
Oh, man,
how many years?
That was a good 6 to 8 years.
6 to 8 years.
Because if I started 2010, 2011, I was probably at Plum probably by 2012, 13, somewhere around that time.
Yeah.
I was like 22, 23. I worked there for a couple years, went to Haven for a couple years, and then I went to Toast Kitchen and Bar.
Right.
And that's on College Avenue, and that's where I became the executive chef.
Gotcha.
So I became the chef there at 25 years old. It was after Rebecca Boyce. So Rebecca Boyce came from Zuni Cafe.
Gotcha.
Opened up Toast Kitchen and Bar.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of where my introduction to everyone else, like the big movers and shakers in the industry. Like
right.
You know,
that's actually where I met him the first time, but we didn't talk. I was eating food there, and I wanted to talk to the chef because I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And like I was like, and he came out, and I was like, it's even better to see like the young.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that was the first time we met, actually. Yeah.
I do remember him. Yeah. I do remember you from that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Rebecca, coming from Zuni, she had cooks coming from Gather, you know what I mean? Like, she had a lot of people, like, joining her crew and her posse, you know?
Gotcha.
She was there for maybe, like, 2 years, and she left. Then she made another lovely young lady, her sous chef, Allie. She made Allie her sous chef. Now she's the executive chef.
Gotcha.
And Allie made me her sous chef, but in doing that, she passed up a lot of people to do that, so I kind of made a couple enemies too along the way.
Heard that.
So people kind of bounced out.
Yeah.
So after her other friends left, you know what I mean? Because I was one of the newer guys.
Yeah.
So she, as making me her sous chef, some of the guys who've been there longer than me decided it was their time to leave.
Yeah.
So we had to come up with a whole new crew of people. I had to learn how to establish trust as a chef.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get
honestly,
my crew
man,
to trust me and shit.
When people leave, it's easier.
Yeah,
because when you become a manager and you've been cooking with these fools, they don't want to pay attention to you.
Nah, it's over for that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You partied out.
They've seen you do some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
no, for real.
They seen you fall asleep on the couch. Now I gotta listen to this motherfucker tell me, but come on, man.
Right.
Get the fuck
it's
out
about
of here.
a year. I think the lifespan of somebody working at a really good restaurant is about a year and a half. You know, if you're really good. But that's pre-pandemic. You know, that's when the shit was moving, and now
place for a year and a half.
Now it's not the same. It's like, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
you became the chef there. How long were you chef there?
I was the chef there for maybe 2.5 years. Yeah. Shout out to Todd. Todd sent me to New Orleans, gave me a little stipend as a young chef. Sent me to New Orleans, you know, got me hip for my first time out there. It was just crazy.
Dope, man.
Like, really,
that's dope.
Just really getting more of the culture into me. You know what I'm saying? Really, I felt like I wasn't faking it no more.
Yeah,
I felt like I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm supposed to be doing this. You know? What
I
mean?
Yeah.
And then the God Almighty hit, you know, and then the restaurant just, you know, it didn't last. It didn't make it through, you know, for whatever reasons. I'm not going to speak about it, but you know, it was the time of the restaurant to, you know,
they shut that spot.
But I made a lot of friends who I'll never forget. You
Yeah,
know, there's a lot of people that, you know, that I will always love from that. You know, from that era of me being there. So, I mean, after that, pretty much.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, Maverick, shout out to Maverick. She works at Comey right now.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's a dope restaurant.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, I met her there at Toast. She's just probably one of my favorite people in the world.
Dope.
But from there, it's been like back and forth from San Francisco, Oakland. Like I did Ozumo, I did